Hi, I'm Amey B, and I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm sitting with a great entrepreneur, Tom Morales. He's just opened up a new fabulous five-star restaurant here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to get to know a little bit about Tom and what started him on this journey. Now, I know that you have catering companies. Now, you started out with music catering and then film catering. You're working on some movies right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we started backstage at Starwood Amphitheater, which was a 20,000-seat amphitheater here in Nashville. And when the first season was over, we realized we didn't have any business. Oh. And so we were lucky enough to win an award, the Director's Award, and so we took that and made it into a direct mail piece, and we sent it to the video company. So at that point in time, it was really when country music was starting to worry about what they looked like on camera. Prior to that, it was more a rock and roll thing. It was the first.
Now, when did you start this? And what year did you start
That was
this?
1986.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And 25 years ago. And so we sent out a direct mail piece, got a few jobs off it, and then ended up getting to work with Dolly Parton on her national TV show. And so that was the first time we really had a national reference. And,
sure, and that's a pretty darn good one right there.
Oh yeah, she had 10 kids. We 10 kids in her family. I had 10 kids in mine, so we had a lot to talk about.
I'm sure.
So, and a lot of things haven't changed. My mother cooked the lasagna there, and she's still one of our biggest fans.
Well, and I love how you've blended not only your food industry, but also your love and passion for music too, and you've taken those two and you've blended them together, and also working with the film companies and stuff. Tell me a little bit how you got into doing like movie sets and things like that.
Well, we finished that season at Starwood. Dolly said if you ever needed a reference, just to use her, and so we got a lead on a little movie that they were going to film here in Tennessee, so I went to interview with them, and the last question they asked me was, do you have a mobile kitchen? Well, I had never heard those two words together in my life, but I knew the answer better be yes.
Yes, and if you find one real quick, right?
So they said, don't call us, we'll call you, and then, they called me back. By that time, I'd found a mobile kitchen in Phoenix, Arizona. I went out and went back to the production office and said, hey, in order to do your movie, I need a deposit, because I didn't have enough money to buy the mobile kitchen. So thinking that they would say, oh, just get out of here, they wrote me a check for $10,000. I used that as a deposit.
That's pretty nice, don't you think? You think they'd write me a check for $10,000?
No, so I used the deposit to buy the mobile kitchen and then drove back, and well, when I landed in Phoenix, it was Ricky Ricardo's Chili Express on the side of it.
I love it.
So being a Morales, I felt like, well, here I was. I bought a taco wagon from this guy in Mexican in Phoenix. And so for 3 days, I was trying to figure out what I was going to tell my wife.
Yeah.
But we got back. We used Lowe's external white paint to paint over the Mexican, and we came up with the name Tomcats, and 1,000 movies later, we're still doing it. We just finished a Harrison Ford movie in New Orleans Saturday.
Awesome.
We've
well, I'll volunteer for those kind of movies. I'm just saying, hello, Harrison, okay? If you ever need me to cook you up something, darling, you just call me, okay? And request Amey B to be on that truck.
Yeah, and bring a 25-year-old bottle of scotch.
There you go, and I'm in, right? I'm in. That's pretty good. I could do that. Now with the Southern, we had also the honor of coming and filming your opening for that, and it is a fabulous restaurant. I mean, the vibe, the feel of it, your decor, your staff, your food, the fish and grits. I mean, I'm just going to have to come back and get some more of those things, and your crab cakes, and you've got an oyster bar, you've got a full bar, you've got a wine bar, you have a private room for where people can rent out and come in and have private parties and things like that. So tell me, what was your journey and for you to go from all this stuff that you're doing to take on a five-star restaurant in the heart of Nashville? What started this process?
Well, it started really when I moved back to Nashville. I was born and raised here, but I left for 15 years, moved back in '86, and with the intention of opening a restaurant. And I bought a building on Lower Broad to do that, but I'd sit there and watch the people that went by, and it was like about every 100th person was the one that
might be a potential customer. Right.
So I just kind of put off that dream. But meantime, we got into the movie film business, and it's the NFL of food service, but it's a high burnout.
Yeah.
You know, you're in distant locations, you're in extreme environmental situations. Snow may be blowing 40 miles an hour sideways.
Sure.
You still have to prepare food. I learned on City Slickers that at 10,000 feet, propane doesn't burn. So.
The hard way. Learn the hard way.
Yeah. Stir fry.
Stir fry. No stir fry for you.
This is not fast food at 10,000 feet.
I love it.
But we learned a lot. But the burnout, and so rather than have a callous disregard for the people that worked for us, we said we need to get into restaurants.
Yes.
And that way they could have a place to rest, a place to retire, and a place to train new people.
Mm-hmm.
So the honey they wanted to get on the film sets.
Yeah.
But instead of just throwing talent at them, untrained talent, we brought them into the restaurants in order to train them to see if they were prepared actually to
Sure.
go on to the next level.
Right.
It was our training camp.
Sure.
And so that went from Sapphire and Franklin to the Loveless Cafe to the Southern. And the Southern is really realizing a dream. And there's 25 years of borrowing in that restaurant.
Yeah, I can see your heart and soul in that too. From just the little nuances in there that you've like kind of placed things in there that's kind of like makes it unique and different. You know, being a 5-star restaurant, people would think, you know, you have to be dressed to the nines and the hilt to come in. And I've been there, people come in just jeans and a nice shirt. I mean, it's a casual 5-star, which I dig.
Yeah,
you know, it's not stuffy.
We're
you come in
calling
just be yourself.
We're calling it a tweener.
Yeah.
Because there's no pretense. We did not
Yeah.
want pretense. We wanted people to
No.
be comfortable, whether they came dressed up or they
Right,
came.
and your staff is casual, their jeans and a nice top. I mean, it's just like, I dig that.
Yeah, I wanted people to have their own
Yeah.
personality. I wanted the decor to tell a story. I wanted it to be layered. My sister is a set decorator, Leslie, and she was nominated for Twin Peaks, for an Emmy for Twin Peaks.
Awesome.
And what was so spectacular about her work on that was that it was so layered.
Yeah.
Everything, there was depth to everything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we went about trying to achieve here. We wanted the young people to want to be attracted to it. We didn't want it to
Yeah.
have the stuffiness of some restaurants.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be relaxed. We wanted people to, if they wanted to be seen but not be scenery, so we did the high back booths. We
Sure.
did everything is like a different room. But it was, if you think about it, Steve Tuck, who was the architect, we had a vanilla rectangle.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to be where you came into the kitchen at home. And
Yeah,
people,
I love that too, the open kitchen. You can see
Yeah.
them actually back there, the chef and all the cooks and stuff. You can actually see everything being prepared. That's really
the
cool.
smells, the flavors.
The visual, yeah.
And we wanted a calm kitchen. And Matt Farley is was at the NoHo Star for 9 years in New York City.
Yeah.
People say you hired a guy from New York for the Southern. Well,
why not?
But regardless of where you are, and actually New York and Nashville have a lot in common.
Yeah.
It's both meat and potato towns, really.
Yeah, I lived in Manhattan for 5 years. Yeah. And I'm
but-
a Southern girl.
But we shared the same passion of using local ingredients and indigenous flavors and taking things that that were traditional and adding our touches to them.
Right.
So you're not going to find your typical Southern fare there. You may find Southern ingredients.
Yeah.
But it's going to be prepared in a way
Oh, it's so, yeah, and it's in the presentation. I mean, fish and grits, like I said, I'm just like, hankering for some more of those.
Sweet potato grits.
Oh, yeah, sweet potato grits. But I mean, the presentation of it, it's just not like just a bowl with the fish on top of the grits. I mean, it's the
No.
presentation.
Everything is
all the way to
touched.
the dessert, I mean, it's just fabulous.
And the true test of a plate of food is that everything has its own flavor.
Sure.
It's not cooked in the same pot. And
Right,
So
yeah.
the grits are cooked one way, the vegetables are cooked a different, the meat, the fish, they're all cooked a different way. We took it. We had a tornado that went through Wayne County last spring.
I remember, yeah.
And we stacked all the hickory wood that was knocked down on a friend of mine's farm.
Oh, wow.
And seasoned it, and so on our wood-fired grill we're
Really?
using
Oh, I didn't know
Wayne
that.
County.
That's good old Wayne County wood there, honey.
Hickory wood.
You don't get no better than that, folks.
And the country guy told me it was drop trees or drop wood,
right?
Meaning that the storm knocked it down, and so
Yeah.
and we're in a 4-star LEEDs building,
Yeah.
so it's a gold certified, first in Nashville.
Yes.
And so we use the community table as recycled wood, the floors and the ceiling are
Yeah.
recycled wood,
Yeah.
reclaimed wood, and so we've tried to the granite that we used on the patio for the walls are recovered 150-year-old steps
Wow.
from the capital of Nashville.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow, there's some real history there.
Yeah, when they
Intertwined
we
into
found
it.
those on a farm.
Yeah, and I love the ceiling fans where you got them on the rollers. I mean, you know.
I saw that for the first time in Key West, Florida, and then Sebe had seen it in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so we said, let's find them, and he found a company that built them.
Oh, wow.
And made replicas of them. So,
Yeah.
so we're excited about that, and you know, you got the columns in there were from a pre-Civil War antebellum home.
Wow, I didn't know this. Wow, I'm learning something here.
Well, we split them lengthwise and then glued them back around the support beams that were there. So
Yeah.
we completely covered that up. And the pictures, Bill Thorpe, the
Yeah.
pictures on the wall are from
Yeah.
Bill Thorpe. And
yeah,
he,
the artwork is fabulous.
25 years of photography for the Nashville Banner. And so we went through his archive and found just some classics. We got some more that we're getting ready to hang, by the way.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we are just so excited to have you in Nashville. Your restaurant's going to be great. It is great. And we are just so grateful that you let us come in today and talk to you. And I wanted everybody to get to know you, because when we met this man over at the opening and stuff, I was just like, what a great, just down home, humble person, you know, and that means a lot. I mean, when you come in there, I've seen you just
when you say that,
interact.
it reminds me of what Chet Atkins used when
What's
I
that?
introduced him one time as a very funny and humble man, and he looked at me and says, I have a lot to be humble about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm old, that basically.
Not as old as Chet, though.
But you know what, we tried
Chet's pretty old.
But he was, we have some great photographs with him and Emmylou Harris
Yeah.
singing in the studio. But
great.
we've taken Bear Creek Farms, which is Leaper's Fork, Tennessee. We take their beef, which is pastured beef, grain-fed.
Great, love it.
No antibiotics, no
Love it,
hormones.
love it.
That's in the restaurant.
Yes.
All our fresh shrimp, we have what we call ice boat shrimp. They've never been frozen. They come in from Dulac, Louisiana, twice a week.
Love it.
From the Mary Lynn.
Yes.
Chris Moran is the captain. We direct source everything. We know
Yeah,
where
see,
it's
I'm a
coming
golf
from.
girl. I was raised on Fort Myers Beach, so I know all about that fabulous seafood down. We used to go to the Keys all the time and all that. So you know, when I ate the seafood there, it was like, this isn't some, well, I won't say the name of the company, this just isn't some local delivery service here. This is the real deal.
We get a lot of our seafood from Harbor Docks in Destin. A friend of mine, Charles Morgan, who actually gave me my first job in the seafood business.
Yeah.
And he's got boats, and the cobia that was coming in up until a few weeks ago was all from the Hey Baby.
Yeah,
And-
hey baby, here's your shrimp. We say Fort Myers is a big fishing village there too.
Yeah.
You know that. And then
Yeah.
then the rest of you go to Texas. You know, Ramsey Pass and all
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, I know all about that. Know all about that.
So we're excited, and I think that's really, we can cook healthy. We listen to our customers. We're not we don't mind them asking us for special preparations. I had a guy in the other day that was gluten-free and real easy to do, and but our
it's very
movie
easy.
training is
And a lot of places people can't go. They look at them like, nah, I can't do that. You know?
Oh, and even if you say you can do it, they don't trust you.
Yeah.
And we can't do that on a movie set.
No, you can't. No.
You're with them 60 days. They're not just like here today, gone
Right,
tomorrow.
they're going to know.
Yeah.
They're going to know, hey, there's some gluten in this thing because I'm not feeling too good, you know, right?
No, and the special diets, I mean, we're very aware, and all the culinary buzzwords, we're very aware.
And you have a fabulous chef.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this
Matt,
guy
well,
just
actually, and Matt
rocks.
has two guys, Tyler and Kevin, that are just, they're young guns that are getting ready to be somebody.
Yeah.
I got to keep them in the family.
Yeah, I got to keep them in the family. And I think you probably will. I really do. Thank you so much, Tom.
And I
It
better
is
say
such a-
Jennifer, too.
Oh, you better say Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Shout out to Jennifer. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking to me
All right,
today.
thank you.
And very excited for you, and just wonderful things with the Southern and everything, all your other adventures that you were on today. Bless you, my friend. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
It's a wrap.